Subject Social Studies. Class 7. Lesson Plan, Geography. Lesson 4 AIR. Very short questions answers type. Q1. In which layer of the atmosphere do aeroplanes fly? Ans. Stratosphere. Q2. Where do meteors burn up in the atmosphere? Ans. Mesosphere. Q3. What is the instrument that measures the amount of rainfall? Ans. Rain gauge. Q4. What is the instrument that measures the atmospheric pressure? Ans. Barometer. Q5. What is the wind vane used for? Ans. The direction of the wind. Q6. Which layer of the atmosphere makes radio communication possible? Ans. Ionosphere. Q7. Name the instrument which measures temperature. Ans. Thermometer. Q8. What is the standard unit of measurement for temperature? Ans degree Celsius. Q9. Who invented the Celsius scale of temperature? Ans. Anders Celsius. Q10. What is the freezing and boiling point of water in Celsius? Ans. The water freezes at 0 degrees C and boils at 100 degrees Celsius. Q11. Which gas protects us from harmful sun rays? Ans. Ozone. Q12. Which layer of the atmosphere is free from clouds? Ans. Stratosphere. Q13. In which layers of the Earth's atmosphere does the temperature rises very rapidly with increasing height? Ans. Thermosphere. Q14. Which two gases make the bulk of the atmosphere? Ans. Nitrogen and oxygen. Q15. Which gas creates greenhouse effect in the atmosphere? Ans. Carbon dioxide. Short question answer types. Q1. What is atmosphere? Ans. Our Earth is surrounded by a huge blanket of air called atmosphere. Q2. What is weather? Ans. Weather is hour-to-hour or day-to-day condition of the atmosphere. Q3. What is rain? Ans. Precipitation that comes down to the earth in liquid form is called rain. Q4. What is Lu? Ans. The hot and dry local wind of northern plain of India is called Lu. Q5. What is the role of the ozone layer? Ans. Ozone layer protects us from the harmful effect of the sun rays. Q6. What is temperature? Ans. The degree of hotness and coldness of the air is known as temperature. Q7. What is insolation? Ans. Insolation is the incoming solar energy intercepted by the earth. Q8. What is humidity? Ans. Moisture in the air at any time is known as humidity. Q9. What is wind? Ans. The movement of air from high pressure area to low pressure areas is called wind. Q10. What do you understand by climate of a place? Ans. The average weather condition of a place for a longer period of time represents the climate of a place. Q11. How are winds named? Ans. A wind is named after the direction from which it blows, e.g. the wind blowing from the west is called westerly. Q12. Name 3 types of rainfall. Ans. On the basis of mechanism, there are 3 types of rainfall: the convectional rainfall, the orographic rainfall and the cyclonic rainfall. Q13. What is air pressure? Ans. Air pressure is defined as the pressure exerted by the weight of air on the Earth's surface. Q14. What are the three main types of winds? Ans. Winds can be broadly divided into three types: permanent winds, seasonal winds and local winds. Q15. How does carbon dioxide create greenhouse effect? Ans. Carbon dioxide released in the atmosphere creates a greenhouse effect by trapping the heat radiated from the Earth. Q16. What is global warming? Ans. When the level of carbon dioxide increases in the atmosphere due to factory smoke or car fumes, the heat retained increases the temperature of the Earth. This is called global warming. Give reasons. Q1. Why is there no air pressure on Moon? Ans. On the Moon there is no air and hence no air pressure. Q2. Why does hot air rise and cold air sink? Ans. When air is heated, it expands, becomes lighter and goes up. Cold air is denser and heavy. That is why it tends to sink down. Q3. Why wet clothes take longer time to dry on a humid day? Ans. Wet clothes take longer time to dry on a humid day because the air has a plenty of water vapor already present in it and is not able to accommodate more water vapor. Q4. Why poles are covered with snow? Ans. The amount of insolation decreases from the equator towards the poles. Therefore, the temperature decreases in the same manner. That's why poles are covered with snow. Q5. Why rain is important for us? How plants can help with water conservation? Ans. Most of the groundwater comes from rainwater. Plants help preserve water. When trees on hillsides are cut, rainwater flows down the bare mountains and can cause flooding of low-lying areas. Q6. Why is the greenhouse effect important? Ans. Carbon dioxide released in the atmosphere creates a greenhouse effect by trapping the heat radiated from the Earth. It is therefore called a greenhouse gas, and without it the Earth would have been too cold to live in. Ans. Sun rays falls almost vertically on the equator and covers less space, whereas sun rays fall at slanting angle on the poles and covers more space. Thus, the amount of insolation decreases from the equator towards the poles. Q8. Air above us presses us with a great force on our bodies. However, we don't even feel it. Why? Ans. Air above us presses us with a great force on our bodies. However, we don't even feel it. This is because the air presses us from all directions and our body exerts a counter pressure. Q9. Why do green plants use carbon dioxide? Ans. Green plants use carbon dioxide to make their food and release oxygen. Q10. Why do we feel uncomfortable on a humid day? Ans. Sweat from our body does not evaporate easily, making us feel very uncomfortable. Q11. What is the cause of flooding in low-lying areas? Ans. When trees on hillsides are cut, rainwater flows down the bare mountains and can cause flooding of low-lying areas. Q12. Why do astronauts wear space suits on the moon? Ans. Astronauts have to wear special protective space suits filled with air when they go to the moon. If they did not wear these space suits, the counter pressure exerted by the body of the astronauts would make the blood vessels burst. The astronauts would bleed. Q13. Why temperature in cities much higher than that of villages? Ans. Temperature in cities is much higher than that of villages because The concrete and metals in buildings and the asphalt of roads get heated up during the day. This heat is released during the night. 2. Also, the crowded high-rise buildings of the cities trap the warm air and thus raise the temperature of the cities. Q14. Why is the atmosphere essential for life? Ans. All living beings on this earth depend on the atmosphere for their survival. It provides us the air we breathe and protects us from the harmful effects of the sun's rays. Without this blanket of protection, we would be baked alive by the heat of the sun during day and get frozen during night. So it is this mass of air that has made the temperature on the earth livable. Long question answers. Q1. How do bacteria help plants use nitrogen? Ans. Plants need nitrogen for their survival. They cannot take nitrogen directly from the air. Bacteria that live in the soil and roots of some plants take nitrogen from the air and change its form so that plants can use it. Q2. How air circulation takes place? Ans. When air is heated, it expands, becomes lighter and goes up. Cold air is denser and heavy. That is why it tends to sink down. When hot air rises, cold air from surrounding area rushes there to fill in the gap. That is how air circulation takes place. Q3. What are the harmful effects arising from the greenhouse effect? Ans. When its level in the atmosphere increases due to factory smoke or car fumes, the heat retained increases the temperature of the earth. This is called global warming. This rise in temperature causes the snow in coldest parts of the world to melt. As a result, the sea level rises, causing floods in the coastal areas. There may be drastic changes in the climate of a place leading to extinction of some plants and animals in the long run. Q4. Discuss the importance of stratosphere. Ans. Importance of stratosphere. Above the troposphere lies the stratosphere. It extends up to a height of 50 kilometers. This layer is almost free from clouds and associated weather phenomenon, making conditions most ideal for flying aeroplanes. 2. One important feature of stratosphere is that it contains a layer of ozone gas which protects us from the harmful effect of the sun rays. Q5. What is the composition of the atmosphere? Ans. The air we take in while breathing is actually a mixture of many gases. Nitrogen, 78%, and oxygen, 21%, are two gases which make up the bulk of the atmosphere. Carbon dioxide, 0.3%, helium, ozone, argon, 0.93%, and hydrogen are found in lesser quantities. Apart from these gases, tiny dust particles are also present in the air. The pie chart gives you the percentage of different constituents of air.